Okay, I've pressed it.
Okay, let's see. Wait, there we go. I've got a notification.
Hey, team, here we go. And it is Kaz from the Trenches with Kaz, and we're seeing, is the sound working now? We're here to entertain you, but that's pretty hard when there's no vocals happening. First is Simon Powell. Never been first before. Simon Powell, well done, mate. Let us know, thumbs up if you've got some sound, because I'm not here by myself. I'm here with lovely Loren Shining.
Hi.
Well, it seems like we're doing all right. Everyone must have thought I was talking to myself before. There's Fugly. Gina's not with him anymore. What's going on? The new dad is Fugly. Well done, mate. Good to have you here. Dave Double D. And Lauren's on here as well. Sorry, Loren, I'm just going to talk to these people for a sec. Full Metal Jacket here. Yep. The Australian dude, amongst many Australian dudes, Jack Smith. Well done for the cameo in the previous video. Well done, mate.
Yep. And
for buying that old fella a drink. We've got Patrick John. Two first names there. Always makes it confusing when you become military. We've got Sammy Code and we've got Cody Geddes. We've got Liam Laverty. G'day, Kaz. Is it Christmas in the background? No, mate, no. We went for Sailor theme tonight. So tonight I will be your cabin boy, and Loren can give me a spanking if I get up to no good.
You'd like that.
We've got everyone today. We've got Kane from up Mackay. We've got Michael Ledger keeping the ledger straight. We've got the Raffy Simon Powell. We've got Midway, but not from Midway. We've got Reese Leon. G'day, mate. Timmy Doust, always here, and we've got hello above him. Toddler, act your age. Guys and girls, I was just saying before I hand it over to Loren for a second, and g'day Legion as well from the Soviet beverage. Logan, sorry. Guys and gals, I fell asleep in the barber chair, and this is what happened. Again, another Ellen DeGeneres hairstyle gone wrong, botched, if you will. Loren, would you like to start us off tonight? BPK, g'day, mate, 02. Would you like to start us off tonight and just say g'day to everyone, what's going on for you and the world around you at the moment?
Yep. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Simon Powell. I see you said g'day. I've just been working hard. It's always hard here in winter. You know, you've got to chop wood, feed the fire, lots of cooking. You know, I've got a pretty boring life. I've been making a little bit of art, but other than that, I'm just trying to keep warm and, you know, my life hasn't changed so much for the shutdown, you know, because I didn't really get out much anyway. I'm kind of a homebody. But it's interesting. I was thinking today how much we might change when we come out of shutdown, whether people will enjoy being at home a bit more or whether they've grown closer to their families or grown apart or, you know, what's changed for people. That really interests me.
Well, I think people will change. I used to be a woman. You know,
your haircut looks good.
No. It's an angle. I'm using a new light today, team, that we got. I'll quickly show you that one. This is the Elgato light that we'll be looking at. Bam. That's to make me look like I'm not on the first fleet. I looked a little bit jaundiced in some of the last ones, and we can make that brighter or lighter, and we'll go through a bit of a side test later. When you cook, Loren, do you blame the patriarchy? Do you say, I'm a modern woman, this shouldn't happen?
No, I love feeding people. I love it.
You're a feeder?
Yeah, well, no, not like that. Come on now.
I've got a friend who's a feeder. His every partner he gets puts on about 40 kilos because of his mushroom sauce.
That sounds delicious, though.
Well, I don't trust anything that, you know, mushrooms are going to grow on shit automatically if you leave it sitting there long enough.
Do you not like mushrooms?
No, not a fan of the fungus. I've got enough in me jocks.
Oh.
Patrick John, Nutsu Cow, good to have you here. Recently discovered the channel, love the content. Great to have you here, mate. And you've got Cam Aiken, our local Darwinian above you. And on the other side of the bookshelf, so to speak, lovely Loren is speaking all the way from Tasmania.
You know, all the way down here near Antarctica. Yep.
You could literally say your part of the country is possessed. Where else has so many devils?
Well, you know, hopefully we've still got so many after that tumour that they were all having trouble with.
Yeah, that was really sad. And you know, I don't know what happened because our koalas have got something similar other than their chlamydia that they carry, and people really look surprised from USA when you hear that our bears have a chlamydia problem. You go, little sluts.
Yeah.
You know?
It only takes once.
Jack, not too cow. Thanks, mate. Yeah, no,
Good.
we're it's a really different time at the moment, and put a thumbs up here, guys, if you feel the fatigue that is happening. It's like when this situation occurred, everyone got a bit of a sleep in, realised that in Australia we've sort of been left alone a lot, but now the Xbox or PlayStation, the marathon you've been through on Netflix or whatever, now that's overpassed, and everyone's sort of like, I sort of want to get back on the wheel. I want to get back out there and do something now. I'm going a bit nutty.
Yeah, they're all going to appreciate it a lot more, I think. Everyone's going to run out there wild and free, thoroughly enjoy being free.
I think so too. But one thing I do believe is occurring is I'm seeing the good in people. I haven't seen the bad other than on TV, and I don't think it's very common. I think they've really got to look for the bad incidents that are occurring. But I'm seeing the better side of Australia. I'm seeing people saying g'day, being happy, and you know, being a little bit nicer.
Me too. Yeah. No, I've seen that too. Like, you know, I was having a chat with my neighbour across the fence just the other day because we must have got a new postie and he keeps giving us each other's mail, and they've just had a new baby. So it was a good opportunity to say congratulations and that. But I find people are willing to stop and chat, and even from across the road, you know, from a distance. But people are missing the social interactions of, okay, we've got all this social media, but they're missing the eye contact and the physical just talking to someone spontaneously, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think what it's done is it's given everyone something as in common.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Hey, Jay Hayes, how you going, mate? Over there, west side, not cerebral palsy over in WA. We're getting every cardinal point. All we need is JC on here now, and we've got pretty much the compass covered.
Yep, we've got everyone then.
Yep.
Powell is building his home theatre man cave. People should go to his channel and check out the little video he made of the tour of it. It was really great.
Say it again. Who's that?
Simon Powell.
Oh, Simon. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go and check that out for sure because I love people's studios. I love people's man caves, all that sort of crap. It's one of my favourite things to check out.
Yep, I agree. No, it was really nice. I always like it when someone lets you into their space too. It's really kind of special.
Yeah. We've never given everyone a sort of a 360 in here, have we? You know,
not really.
I'm not sort of pumped into a corner like a lot of the YouTubers that make it look like they've got this epic sort of room, and then you look around and go, Jesus Christ, he's taking up a square metre.
That room is pretty epic, though. I mean, look at it. Could it actually even get more epic?
I don't know. They are fake plants. We've got
but they're the best kind.
Yeah, we've got a fair bit here.
Was that a Hawaiian lei?
That was a Mardi Gras.
Oh.
Not so much. A sailor sent it to me. Dave. Guys, sorry?
Where's Derek?
He's off with about 20 Barbies at the moment. Well, I've got to tell you, and sorry for those that are a bit younger at the moment who may not be going through this, but this homeschooling, I don't think it could be getting done worse. And I'll explain why. And naturally, you can't just bitch about it. You have to have a solution, and I've got one. Leo the Stuntman, Nutsu Cow, always good to have you here, mate. I want to reimburse you everything you've ever given me to get your hair cut if your thumbnail is actually legit.
I don't think he'd be our Leo if he got a haircut.
Look, we've got, I understand for people doing year 10, all that sort of stuff, and year 11, year 12, that you're already probably fairly formidable when it comes to researching things that are of interest to you. I get that. But having a daughter in year 3, basically what's occurring is there is things work in stages at school now in primary school. There's stage 1, which is year 1 and 2. And then there's stage 2, which is 2 and 3. And then there's stage 3, which is 5 and 6. So that gives a really good bell curve for those that are in the second half of their stage, if they're going slow, to be able to get a little bit more time. But what it can also do is make the underachievers in stage 1, 2, or 3 feel like they have got so far to go because kids seem so much smarter. And with this homework that they've been getting, it's just like dumped onto internet, onto the computer, and a lot of it hasn't been thought out well. A lot of it doesn't have edit rights. A lot of it doesn't have the ability to put the working out on there. The solution to that should definitely be, if there's any teachers that are listening right now and probably smacking their head on the desk because they know this is right themselves, what I believe the answer should be is that they should be hard-covered books. And the teacher makes up 20 for their class because there's only like 20 kids in a class in primary school and you only have one class. So they should get those books, get them made, and then the parents come in and get the book with extra paper in there. I want you working out so I can make sure that it's not the parents doing the work for their children to just stop fighting with those loved ones while still trying to get the balance between being a loving parent and entertainer after that. What should also happen is this is the time where we can start to get kids back into things like, at the end of the week, I want you to be able to tell me, Loren, if she was 8 years old, about killer whales. I want you to be able to tell me about pyramids, and I want you to tell me about South America. So 3 different things. And then if you give the hard books out, they can time they might put more in time in one day or more in the other. They can time it out. But then what can happen is then they can ring each child up once a week where they have a whole day set aside where the teacher can just ring up and go, Loren, how's your day going? Is mum and dad okay? And that's
a good idea, because I feel really bad for the kids who maybe have a crappy home life, and now all of a sudden they're there not only trying to do their work, they haven't got anyone to help them, or to motivate them to do it, or if they're on, like you said, that lower end of the bell curve, to help them take the opportunity to get back on top, because that can really affect a kid's self-esteem. I remember thinking I was really dumb when I was a kid, because I took a little while to learn to read, but once I did, I never stopped. But it was just my pace, kids all different paces. But I'm one of those crazy parents who actually did home education for quite a few years out of my own volition. I did it for myself. But I spent thousands of dollars on workbooks and things like that. It took a lot to set up properly, and we tried to run next to the curriculum because I thought, this isn't, I can't be slack about this, because at the end of the day, they're going to be competing for job horses. So it's, even though they had an alternative education, I tried my best to keep the regular work in there. But I actually really enjoyed it all the time with my kids, because, I loved it. It wasn't a problem. But then, going for the kids' interests is really important, like to try and make things interesting. And in fairness to teachers, I think they've been thrown in at the deep end too. And we don't really have any consistency in Australia.
No.
It's different state to state, the levels.
But we're also not doing well against other countries.
No.
And also, it seems like, for some reason, it's not like the military where someone is coming into our world and saying, oh, why don't you do that? And we go, hey, look, honestly, we're the experts on this and blah, blah, blah. When someone's talking a bit about school, you can go, hey, mate, I've been to school. I know what it's like to be taught. I know what it's like to be unmotivated, or sometimes have a teacher that is unmotivating, or if anything, a Debbie Downer. And what I'd recommend to help me learn would be, if occasionally you threw a soccer ball at my head, or said, spread a rumour that the girl in the front row liked me, then laughed at me at the end of it and said, full of shit, you're a loser. But we can make you better. So, sorry, Patrick John, Natsu Cow there in the yellow. Thank you very much for the donation, mate. Fee questions. What are your general thoughts on each of the ADF cores? Pros and cons. I've been advised to join artillery observer or operator as the wait for infantry is very long. Any thoughts? For starters, if infantry is too long, go for cavalry. Now, Loren, there is two things that you're asking there in artillery observer and artillery operator. I don't recommend people that want to have a long career in the military go to artillery at all. And that's not meant to be a disrespect to anyone that's in artillery, but we've got a very outdated artillery system. And the operators, the observers, and we've got one in chat right now, basically they are being misused, which means they are being administered by artillery units. But what's happening is they're also being lodged with artillery units when they have more in common with infantry than what they have with artillery. So in order to keep the power over them, the wife telling the husband, you can't go out tonight sort of philosophy, we are stopping them from growing in a pot that is large enough to allow them to really expand and be one of the best core assets within the military, which is also a fantastic stepping stone for them to go to special forces. Now, what do I mean by that? If these guys that are going to be traveling with Armored Corps or traveling with infantry, if they were actually billeted as artillery badge, the biggest badge in the world, it almost looks like a North Korean Medal of Honor, yet they haven't been and fought anyone. They should be with infantry, do an Army Reserve infantry course so they know how to speak the speak, how to do SOPs, how to understand and upgrade with the new weapon systems. That would make them so much easier to embed in an infantry platoon, and they would absolutely love their role, and they would be treated like an asset, like a skilled operator within our call sign, rather than someone who doesn't touch the guns in artillery and potentially gets the cold shoulder. So I would say until that occurs, try Armored Corps. That's what I reckon. And if they say no to that, then be potentially able to wait, because I don't think it's good to go over to artillery at the moment. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, sorry, mate, but that's the truth. That's what we're here for.
That's what everyone comes here for.
I just want the truth.
Where's Mr. Patterson? He'll be loving that.
I haven't seen him at the moment. He might be asleep, poor old bugger. Hey, Kaz, I'm training my ass off at the moment for 2 RAR. You can't say you train your ass off for Navy, can you? I know that's your regiment. Get it right, mate. Battalion. Can you give me any advice on what I should be doing? I'm a state level swimmer, so you'll be fine there. I'm good in the water. Righto. Mate, I wish British were good in the water, filthy bastards. For 2 RAR, if you're already a great swimmer, mate, all it is then is general fitness and be able to explain why you want to go to the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, the amphibious unit, and you should be good to go, mate. We don't take the best, we don't take the worst, and we don't tend to say to someone, this person is more qualified, a better capability than candidate B, and that sucks because we want an A team where it goes everywhere. But where we can, if there's 6 alpha males within a team of 40 people that are going to go to the regiment, there's still opportunity to share those around, except for Adelaide, the home of the single mum. Madison, not so cow. I mentioned my potential PFA coming up for enlistment. Madison, friend with Loren. Would you recommend a 5 kilometre a day running? No, for interval training, 400 by 6 by 6. The 400 metres even, it doesn't need 400 metres, then 1 minute, 400 metres, then 1 minute. This doesn't have to happen every day. 2 times a week. If you do that 2 times a week and every second week you do a time 2.4 to speed as fast as you can, that's enough.
Yep, she's fast.
That's enough. Yeah. And because you can overtrain. The British really, really overtrain with their force marching and their running, but then they really lack on upper body strength. So when they get into urban environments and you've got to really launch yourself with body armor, helmets, equipment, etc., Australians really, really do well there. Interval training, yep, that is the 400 metres, by 6, 1 minute in between. And then you can drop it down to 30 seconds if you want, or you can add an extra 400 metres. You can go to a hill and just run up there, 1 minute, break, then run up the hill, 1 minute, break. And you can do it that way. You can do it on a bike. There's a million things you can look at on a YouTube channel. You can do boxing instead to change that up for cardio. Fantastic. Mike Tyson is coming out of retirement. Do you know that? Mike Tyson's coming out.
Yeah.
Not of a closet.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. No, it's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't he like 80 now?
No. He's 50 something. I think he's 53. And if he comes out and he fights, because he's already made, I think 300 million on his marijuana industry that he has now, which is legal. Yeah. Okay. But if he comes back out, he'll basically be able to say, this is what my figure is. And some poor son of a bitch that's half his age is going to go, I don't want to be a crash test dummy for Mike Tyson. There's already videos. He's sparring on YouTube with his son, and it's devastating. Yeah. Amy Brown. Dave D. Interval training mostly, Matty. A couple of longer runs here or there. Bug. Will SASR be aware of how well you perform at the School of Infantry? No, not at all. They wouldn't even care how you go at the School of Infantry. They want you to get in, potentially do 4 to 6 years, even get some ranks, some qualifications, a sniper, reconnaissance, or even just being in a rifle company. Get some time up, get some maturity up, learn where your pain thresholds are, and then when you say you're good to go, and then when the recruiting drive comes around, go, yeah, I'll have a go at that. And they'll go, no worries. You can't quit in the first 48 hours. Yeah. We've got to give the Australian public their money's worth.
Yeah, I think there's actually a bit of a common misconception that they're always out there sneakily scouting around for people. But I think folks don't understand, you go to them, they don't come to you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They don't need to. They know that they are the premier.
Yeah.
Okay, the pinnacle of the mountain.
They can take their pick, yeah.
Yep.
Of the people who want to do it. So they don't need to be scouting around for new people. There's always, I believe, a steady stream of people trying. And often people try a couple of times, right?
Yeah, that's it. And they can tell you too, don't come back.
Yeah.
I see, if you go to the Royal Australian Regiment Infantry, you're in Nepal. Okay? If you go to Commandos, you're at base camp. But there's that yearning to always do more. So all of a sudden you get to Nepal and you go, I wouldn't mind going checking the mountain out, maybe taking a panorama from a distance. I might as well go a little bit further and go to base camp. Base camp is a lot harder than I expected it to be. So I can see Mount Everest from here. Might as well have a crack at going the whole way. But some die on the journey.
Yep, that's right.
SOS. Not cow. Are you in trouble? Highcast recruiting called. Assessment is imminent. You need to take those pants off. What is that hanging out your butthole?
What?
No, I threw that in.
I thought I'd missed something.
No. Yeah. Overflowing stage 3 pit. Mate, I really felt bad a couple of days ago. One of our new subscribers asked me through questions that they'd done alternative schooling as well, where instead of getting the scores you get in normal schooling per se, they got more satisfactory, unsatisfactory, just like a lot of civilian enterprise, which is competent, not yet competent, including military. But that's what their schooling was. So that's going to hold them back, because that doesn't give a tangible.
Do the tests. They should be able to do TAFE or some high schools do it.
And that's what the suggestion will be.
Do the tests and get the certificate, the certification. It doesn't mean they won't just be able to sit the test and fly through it. They may have that knowledge. They just don't have it certified. Yeah,
and it's a weird one because at the end of the day, if you can sit the test, your IQ is good to go, that should potentially be enough.
Exactly, because I know heaps of kids that shouldn't finish state school, but they hardly even rock up, but they still get the certificate at the end.
That's true. But this poor guy has also got a second issue. And I don't think he understands the way citizenship worked. His mum was from New Zealand and has been here since she was 2 years old, had him, and he wants to join the military. He doesn't understand. Even your mum is not an Australian citizen, mate.
No.
It doesn't matter how long you're here for. You're not a citizen unless you do the citizenship.
Yeah.
Performers
came from Britain and she was naturalised. So
yeah,
citizenship thing, and you know.
And that's the only way, because even if you're born here, this guy's born here and doesn't even realise he's not even an Australian citizen. You're a New Zealand citizen because your mum, even if you're born here, you have to be with parents that are citizens. That's why when Americans come over here on exchange and they have a child in Australia, that child is not an Australian citizen and American citizen, American Australian, Australian American, so to speak. They're just American because you are under the umbrella of citizenship of your guardian.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realise that.
I don't understand it all, but I know there was that big hoo-ha with all our parliamentarians.
It's to stop people exploiting Australia or US or England, whatever, and coming over just long enough to have a baby and then using that child as like the ice pick in the Everest Glacier, and that allows then the rest of the family to go like lemmings over the top of you and become citizens or use the system.
Yeah, that does happen, doesn't it?
Yep.
You know, the reunifications and that.
Emma, anyone have any good exercise to increase sit-ups other than repetition? Yes, Emma, planking. Planking and push-ups are also very good. The planking where you get down in the A-frame. I'm supposed to be doing a video in the next few days that's all about 5 to 6 exercises you can do at home, right, that may or may not have some soup cans involved, but not to sit on. And, you'll probably like it. And I'll add some humour in there too.
I have a love-hate relationship with planking.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah.
ZC. Oh, yeah. By the way, everyone, we've got 2 new people to our Patreon. One of those is right here now, Anthony or Tony, young son. Great to have you here, mate. I believe your number was 111, wasn't it? Which in Romans is CXI.
Oh, you're good.
Cool number. Yeah, you're an artist. You know, nothing looks better than Roman numerology other than Japanese hiragana.
Yeah, I can't do it off the top of my head, though. Once I get past that X, I have to stop and think about it.
I love triple X too. So great to have you here. And Sri, SREE from India, is also one of our new patrons. So Nutsu Cow and came in at 109 for the regimental number within the 10th Legion. Well done.
Yeah.
Same code. It's really it's a really good thing when you come on and you see new people in the Patreon. A lot come on, a lot drop off. It's fine, but I'm really looking forward to going out and taking some brass razoo out and making some videos using Aaron the Hitman Dixon that I saw today legally throughout the Mexican beer fiasco to get the kids a little bit of a exposure to other children, because that is the thing that is so hard to explain.
Yeah, it's so important when they are like doing home education, even whether they're doing it full time or just for this, they still need socialization. It's really vital. Yeah.
And how many people don't have good parents?
Yeah, that's what bothers me. That really worries me. Is I think of those poor kids and their escape was school.
Mr. P's here.
Yep.
Hey, Mr. P, here you go, mate. I understand, Mr. P. It was going to be 7:30, but when I started doing setting the stream up, I looked up and there was an entire curtain of names, and I thought, oh shit, what have I done? So I quickly went online.
We were talking about the weather. Who's got snow? Who hasn't got snow?
Overflowing stage 3 pit. Thank you very much, mate. Nutsu Cow to you. And, mate, the overflowing stage 3 pit, he's actually a serving member right now. So to have someone that has been part of the channel, then got into the military, and then still stays here should be an indication to those that watch that are wondering, is this worth being here? This is someone who's come with us the entire journey and is still here. So that should in itself is a feather in the cap of this channel and what you do and what you say, etc.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like the wisdom of Cam Aiken, who was going to go for, Cam, I won't say his last name, was going to go for Special Forces until he met Special Misses, and they've just got married in the last few months. Now, Cam...
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And she is as pretty as two buttons, not just one.
No.
So much has happened to this young bloke for the better in a 4-year period. Just him alone has made this channel worth it. It really has.
That's so nice.
He's really he's a good dude. He is. He's going to go a long way. He's got a lovely lady at his side now. He's come from adversity and said, I won't give up. Oh, bam, over the top. That's what we like.
Yeah, we got a lot of good dudes here. We got a great community.
Overflowing Pit says, anyone who wants to join, 100% follow this channel. Only way you get factual information. There you go. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah. Don't forget Jack Smith is in the Legion now too.
Yeah, Jack Smith. Not only is Jack in the Legion, but Jack was the main character yesterday or the day before in the video we put out about the conversations, which I think is going to be an ongoing theme. I quite like the ambience. I like the fact that it's not bloody Bros Jr. here getting on with me Ellen DeGeneres hairstyle, trying to put on a performance. Instead, we just leave you with a screen, some ambient noise, and a message to listen to. And, I just wish it was longer. I hate putting out an 8-minute video. I hate it, but it can take an entire day to make. By the time you go through the edit, by the time you make the script, etc. And also, I don't want you guys and gals looking on there and going, I haven't got 25 minutes to listen to this guy speak.
I always do, though. I'm always looking. I get really annoyed when, sometimes I always have to have something in the background. So whether I'm like washing the dishes or drawing or something, I get annoyed if a video is under 20 minutes. Okay,
there we go. 20 minutes, 20 seconds coming up.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick Smith says, done my medical yesterday. Awesome. You mean your assessment? Yeah. I have to get some medical reports about a fractured leg back when I was 8. I'm 17. Do you think it's going to stop me from getting accepted? Nick, no, absolutely not. Fractures can grow back actually stronger. They just need to make sure, for everyone that's listening, when you have a medical ailment, that the Army, Air Force, Navy, paramedics, police, fire brigade are not about to sign an indemnity that takes responsibility for everything that's ever happened to you beforehand. So they just need to make sure that the amount of money they're about to fork out on training you, that you are worth the investment. And 2, they're not going to turn you into a cripple and then be fighting you legally in the court system for the next 30 years. So they're just ticking the boxes. The doctors will say what their findings are, and from there you should be right. Was it a skateboard, or like Dave D, did you fall out of a tree, so to speak?
I still got that image in my head.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was gory.
Mr. P, I haven't even looked at those photos recently.
Yeah. I think
naturally,
I'd like to just say something about that, Kaz.
Sorry?
Because I just want people to understand, like with things like the photo comp and that we do, right? It's fun. It's something for us all to do. But I'd like people to remember that you actually have a lot going on in your personal life. Like you've got your daughter. You do a lot to help a lot of other people that I know you never toot your own horn about. So I'd like people to just, be patient about things, and to also remember you have PTSD, and to say it doesn't affect your life or get in the way of things, and sometimes they take a little bit longer, that would just be a lie. Because look, we're all friends here. It affects my life, and I know sometimes I say I'm going to do something and I just have to take a little bit longer to do it. So I think if people could just be patient and know we will get around to it, it's still there.
That was also one of the last weekends. That was the last time I saw my parents. That was before the corona crackdown happened. So that feels like it was a year ago that we put out that call for Patreon to take their photos. But since then, we've had a world pandemic as well.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot that's happened, and you can't, like, how do you plan for that? I think really people are just keen to do it again because it was fun. I enjoyed it. I know everyone else did.
Which one was that?
The photo thing was fun. That was great fun.
Look, it was
seeing
awesome.
Everyone's photos. It was terrific.
There were some of the photos that came in. There was one of them that the police should be looking at, going, "Hey, what's the go here?" And it's someone. The camera is down inside a hole, looking up out of the hole with the guy looking down inside it. I won't say his name. So it looks like someone basically saying, "I'll be good. Don't finish me off." It was really, really smart.
Yeah.
A lot of dog photos.
Yeah, because Romeo made an appearance, didn't he? Maddie's little dog.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. He's a good boy.
We've got Catonius here.
Hi,
Hey, Catonius, how you going, mate? Catonius is our favourite Roman team.
Yeah. Well, Catonius and I both had an alternative education at the same tiny experimental high school, which is, it's a small world.
How racist is this name? Alex Saxon. Anglo-Saxon, you bastard. No, you're fine, mate. There's no such thing as racism, mate. And if there is, it's not as bad as calling someone a fucking dickhead, wish you were dead, mate. For some reason, as soon as you put someone's colour or background into it, it's like it's worse than an actual threat. It doesn't make sense. And it feels like the only people that can be racist these days is those that are white of colour. It's weird the way that you hear them talking to each other going, "No, technically I can't be racist." You go, bullshit.
You're in dangerous waters there, my friend.
I'll get back out. Southest Fishing 39, can you give some info about joining SF? Okay, right. Unless you are a extremely unique person where they have said to you, why don't you consider the DRS system, the direct enlistment for SF, which still means doing Kapuka, then going to the School of Infantry, and then going to the pre-selection, etc., for the 2nd Commando Regiment, then leave it out of your mind and understand that you'll still need to go to infantry, just like if you want to be a scientist one day, you're going to have to do maths in year 11, and stop making your mountain seem insurmountable. What you need to do is go, I just want to get in and go to infantry, and then by doing that, then you get through Kapuka without putting the pressure on yourself. You get through the School of Infantry, which is hard enough as it is, and there's a good chance of getting an injury between Kapuka and the end of School of Infantry, 6 months without basically a day off. And the days you do have off, you're down in Newcastle chasing the wild women, right, until this came along. Don't get a tattoo on your face, and don't get someone to put airborne instead of airborne on your bloody tattooist. Fail there. And then learn the language of being a soldier, hunting humans in the battalion, and then say, do I have what it takes, or is that a lot harder than I expected it to be? Because otherwise people are writing checks on themselves that it's just impossible. So much pressure.
Yeah. I think people just, like you always say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
That's it. It's very true. And it tastes great. It tastes like chicken. Joel Gandy. That you must be a nice bloke with a name like Gandy. Hey, mate, my enlistment date is May the 18th. Do you have any tips on going through Kapuka in winter? Let your mate know before you hug him. That's what I'd say. Mate, there is nothing I can say to you. You don't get to choose your clothes. If there's one person that wants to wear that horrible piece of fashion called a Howard Cam or whatever it is, the jumper, then you all will wear it. Or you will get told to take your raincoat off despite the fact that it's raining because you're about to patrol, and they understand through wisdom that carrying a heavy pack, in arduous conditions with something physical coming up can cause overheating, heat illness, heat exhaustion, even in winter. Do not wear thermals beneath your clothes and then not tell people. The staff know what you can and what you cannot take. You just do what you're told and you'll be good to go. Don't eat cold rations. Make sure you heat them up, and you'll be fine. And if they say you can take one piece of Jack rations with you, take a salami. It doesn't go off, tastes great, and the spice is good for the inside, and the heartburn will keep you awake on picket.
That's a really good tip for any partners who are wondering what to put in care packages to send to someone who might be deployed. I always threw salami in there. It just seemed to be perfect.
It is weird, the fixation that soldiers have for the salami. We love it because
Yeah.
you eat it slowly, one cut at a time, and it just takes that filthy non-flavor taste of nature out of your mouth. It's just, Brush.
That reminds me of the conversation we had about the posties the other day.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. One of the most vital people within the military, the Santa Claus, so to speak, even for the non-religious, is the postie. When you see a grown man and his face, especially people that have kids, when you see the look on their face when the platoon sergeant comes out and says, mail, we've got mail, and then you start handing letters out to people, it only sucks for the people that don't get a letter, Never send anyone Anzac biscuits. They're already in the ration pack.
Yeah.
And lovely Loren used to send pictures. Used to send, Loren, you can tell them what you used to do.
Yeah, I used to write a letter every day for the whole deployment, even if it was just a little note that said nothing more than, I was thinking about you today, or I miss you, or I wonder what you're doing, and just put a bit of lipstick on it or something and just put it in. But I used to send one letter every day. And so even if they didn't get their mail every day, they would get a big chunk, a whole month's worth of mail in one go. And they used to tell me it was great.
It's awesome. And one of the other things that they do when we go overseas, especially if it's a high-profile trip, is school kids that you won't know. There's no expectation you ever go and meet this kid. We'll send letters to you. Then you send a letter to them so they get a letter from a veteran. The expectation is they don't become a pen friend. Don't try and do that. That becomes a little bit weird. Send them a good letter, smudge some dirt on there so you look like you've worked harder than what you have. Righto, and go from there. We've got an excellent question here from Spencer Kremen here, Loren, and you can double up and let him know what you think about what I say here, and if there's anything you'd want to add to this. Very insightful. Hey, Kaz, I've wanted to join the ADF for a long time, but have recently been unsure as I wanted to be a politician, a topic I've followed for a long time. Any ideas on what I should do? That is a blank Nutsu cow thrown right out to you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what better credentials that you can have as a politician than someone that has already lived in the trenches, someone that has been abroad, someone who's worn a uniform, someone that can shake their hands, that has a callus on their hands already, with a farmer, with a brickie, with a fireman, with a copper, with a nurse, with a mum, someone with a bit of honour in their system. I think you'd be doing yourself a justice to do it, because no one gives two effing shits about a politician that's under 25 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Look, one of my children wants to be a politician too, which I never quite understood. That's what happens when you raise them in tattoo shops. They rebel by going to the library and wanting to be politicians. But I think you're right, because when you were serving, you meet all kinds of people from all kinds of walks of life. No two veterans are exactly the same. So it's like you're going to meet all sorts of people. You'll hear all about their families, their situation. Some grew up in privileged backgrounds. Some grew up in, household communities. And you will learn so much about people that it's, being a politician is something that perhaps, just keep on the horizon. Because there's no age restriction for being a politician, but yet your time might run out for being in the army.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sean Davey and Jordan, how you going, team? And Mysterious Box, what's in there? Said Brad Pitt. What's in the box? That's from Seven.
Oh, no.
Seven, one of my favourite movies.
That's a great movie.
It is a good movie, and more people in Hollywood should check that shit out so they know how to write a script. And we've got Patrick John up there too. Good to have you here. Timmy Doust and Robbie Kent, who loves dogs.
Bugley's power has just gone out and he's in the middle of cooking a roast. That's awful.
That's going to become jerky, brother.
That's good.
He's got the power. Look, something happened about 3 years ago. Was it Jack Smith? We'll answer this one and then I'll get to what I was about to talk about. Kaz, any advice? Not to count too much. No more yellow from you. You're a Patreon member. less is more, mate. Please relax, settle down.
Yep.
Kaz, any advice how to push yourself to get over your mental barrier and push harder than before? I feel like I'm going too easy for my training to get started at Kapuka. Advice would help. Jack, the simple advice I'd give to you, and it's very, very hard to do at the moment, but it's getting closer to the point, is take the speed out of your hands and go and enlist in a proper boot camp. The boot camp, you let them know, I'm going to the army. I need to improve my cardio. I need to improve my muscular endurance. Do not give me easy outs. Give me someone hard to train with. Make them my partner so that when we do activities, we're trying to beat each other. And then from there, it's you versus you. Write your scores down, but make sure you're committed to a 40-minute session, because then you'll always get more out of that session. And by paying money for it, that will also be an investment in your future and preparation that you really can't surpass. That's what I recommend you do. Intensity through someone else pushing you rather than yourself, and you answered that yourself. So
don't hurt yourself though.
Yeah, so no more donations. Save that money for the boot camp. And from now on, the only people I want to see with a yellow there has to be someone who's a self-admitted coward. the color of cowardice.
You're harsh.
Well, there's nothing wrong. You can't never underestimate a cornered cow. They're the most dangerous people on earth.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Dave, Kaz, pollies get paid better. Yeah, look, they do. But really, man, it's just, how fat can you get so quickly if you haven't got a history of doing fitness activities? You know, you've got to have a really good metabolism if you're going to be a politician. But can you trust a thin one? That's what we're going to talk about with politicians. You wouldn't have heard someone 5 years ago, 6 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago say they want to be a politician. The only people that go to be politicians is normally someone that says this has to be getting done better than what it is. Yeah. This is bullshit. And we've seen the cult. You never hear ever of a celebrity anymore from Hollywood. The new celebrities, for the first time since goddamn Rome, okay, and maybe independence, the Battle of Independence and shit over in the USA, is since Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. Now everyone knows who's a Democrat, who's a Republican, you know, who are the good ones, who are the bad ones, who was in charge of the FBI, who are Australian politicians, who's Liberal Party, who's Labor Party. We've really made the celebrity someone who's trying to do something, and their feet are getting held to the fire. They're not getting away with the shit they used to. Now they're getting caught up in all the different things that used to be just a perk of the goddamn job. You know, I think there's never been a better time to be one. You know, but go in there, never flip.
Yeah, probably right, because, you know, I suppose if you really do want to change
medium
something or help steer the ship of your nation, there's really only two ways to do it. And one is to be a voter, and the other way is to be a politician. It's
true. And if I could say to, because I think that was a fairly brave statement he said too. He or she.
Yeah.
Sorry, where are we? Spencer Kremen. Hey, Kaz, I've wanted to join the idea for a long time, but okay, yeah. So, Spencer Kremen, who do you believe can do more? Okay, really, if we realistically want to say it, who's more valuable? A politician that has honor in their soul and honestly loves the country and is patriotic and wants to take it forward and keep us out of unnecessary fights, that politician, or the best SAS soldier? I guarantee to you that best SAS soldier, you know, can never do as much. The glass has already been broken if he's over there. The politician can save Australian blood, Australian sons, and the fathers of the opposition that we're up against by making sure the right thing gets done in the nick of time. So if you think you've got a knack for politician, go and do it and stay in touch.
Yeah, and you need to be able to make those decisions. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be able to do that too if you need to.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. That came out of the blue. What do you reckon? Thumbs up or thumbs down? No, politician. Who else would like to be one? I think anyone that's ever been in some area of responsibility or leadership thinks I could do a better job than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be one, but I'd like their long lunches.
Okay. Lightfoot, first hour of judo, BJJ, I would be getting warmed up. The second hour, I'd get so much out of it if I took the second class. Right. Jackie Turtle, how you going? Beat the hair. Well done.
Hi, Jack Turtle.
And Jackie Turtle says, hi, Kane. Kane, every time I see your name, I always think of Cain and Abel, killed your brother. I'm getting a phone call. It's okay. I'll call Dave-O in a minute. He's one of my mentors as well, and also a friend of Dave Bolton's. Dave Bolton, how you going, buddy? Good to have you here, mate. I know some things about Dave I can't talk about here. We've shared the same areas, outfield. Okay, he's slept on my lounge before. He's been my boss before. But I will tell you one thing. One of the funniest things I've ever seen was when I was on a range course, which is all about concentration, about seriousness. There we are, just leaning into the lesson, thinking, oh, shit, I feel like I'm a little bit out of my depth, when, bam, chair goes flying, feet go ass up. Dave Bolton had fallen asleep as an instructor and flung himself backwards off the chair and landed ass up in the downward-facing dog. And you look over and go, maybe I'm taking this course a little too seriously if the instructors are falling asleep. Dave, you forgot about that one. And then we had a really good thing because it was the 11th of the 11th, which is Remembrance Day, team. Remember that? And I was absolutely fuming because we didn't have time to take a minute off for the minute silence, okay, to say the ode in the remembrance. And I remember thinking, why are we even here if we're not taking the serious thing serious? And it just so happened it was like an act of God. One of the blokes who'd got food poisoning, or big night on the sauce, just started vomiting all over the carpet. And I remember going, what sort of fucking rock show is this? People vomiting, instructors getting catapulted off chairs. You know? But it was a little bit of karma, I think. I loved it. And it stuck in my mind. November rain. Let me entertain you. Sounds like something my girlfriend would say. Good to see someone still getting some November. How do you feel about them opening up all the trenches and tunnels at Gallipoli? They're cleaning all the trees. Oh, I'm not a fan, Anthony. I think maintain it, but be careful that you don't do anything that dislodges where the fallen are laying beside the fallen, whether that be Turks beside the Aussies or Brits or Canadians or Indians, etc., or New Zealanders. You know, just maintain it, but that's it. You know, let sleeping dogs lie, so to speak. Billy Krask. ScoMo has risen to the job at hand. Yep. However, he is still learning. Yep, he is. You know, you never become a good politician until your day is done as well.
Yes, exactly. I think any politician who thinks they've stopped learning needs to get out. Because, you know, the world doesn't stay still, nor should they stay stagnant.
Yeah, it's really weird to see the left, the way they try to recreate everything. You can't just don't.
Yeah.
You know,
There's no need to reinvent the wheel.
It takes time to make change, and it takes sacrifice. And you can't be seen to be 5 years later continually swapping. Well, there's nothing wrong with fixing something after you see I was wrong, and I'm telling you I was wrong. That's fine.
Exactly. And what worked, 10 years ago might not be appropriate now because everything changes. You know, all sorts of stuff changes. We've
just had a Nutsu cow come in through Patrick John.
Yep.
Nutsu cow. And he's just saying he has to go. I had a great time, and I'll watch the playback later. Yeah, you've been very helpful. Thanks. Looking forward to the next one. You're never alone here. That's the whole point. Loren and I, Dave D, Robbie Kent, Mr. P, Michael Stott, Dave D was right back from the days that we played computer games with XCOM that brought him into the fold, and now he's a military officer. Stotty was one too that came for the games but stayed for the mentoring and gave it himself. We're the Australian YouTuber.
Yeah.
We're a team here. So you're all welcome, and you never know. In that hour, there might be one thing that we answer from someone else that makes you go, that's why I was here tonight. And if you're not here, I know you're watching Home and Away. We've got Brandon Turner. Do you offer any mentoring and or fitness advice service for upcoming enlistments? Would love to get some insight from someone who's done it. Cheers. Well, Brandon, we did do free PT for a while in Western Sydney. You know, we had a few people turning up. They put in 100%, but we didn't realise just how much effort that was going to take. The advice that we give out is free on that. I've got a video I want to put out in the next few days to week, and hopefully you get enough out of that. But I've got no dramas of answering your questions. You know, but there's nothing I can tell you at the moment individually, right, that you can't look up fairly quick yourself as well.
I think they should, now's the perfect time to put a shout out to the Patreon, because that's another way where you can stay in touch with the community, like in between streams. And it's also, I believe, still the easiest way to have like one-on-one conversation with you, correct?
Yeah, it is. It is. Dave was wondering what it was too about a Nutsu cow. Nutsu cow is whenever someone's made a financial offering to the channel. So that's what we do, Nutsu cow, the White Warrior. But I'm about to talk to you in a minute because I know what you're asking there. You want me to say again about Nutsu cow. Nutsu cow, and I will.
So great.
The Patreon we started probably a year and a half ago. And what that is, it was a way that people could donate US $5 a month. And it was to simulate a cup of coffee. And from there, that money, as it accrues, we go out and instead of going to a charity, we go and approach people that would never expect to be the recipient of goodwill from people they don't know, let alone YouTubers and ex-veterans, whether it be homeless people, whether it be mothers where we paid for their groceries on Mother's Day, whether it be families where we've gone and paid for their dinner. When the fires were on, we were buying fuel for people at petrol stations. I hope they didn't.
Helpers,
Yeah.
So great. I love being part of the Patreon, just knowing how many people you bless, when you and Dicko go out. It's great.
It's really good for us too. And this phone becomes your one-on-one mentoring device. So basically, if you were to get on, we haven't even put the link down below. We don't try and hunt for you. We allow people to come across it. But Patreon allows people to join the Patreon to become part of the financial arm so we can help others with the channel. But in turn, you're also able to send, you go onto this phone, which is only for Patreon members, so that you can have those message on, and then we talk to you one-on-one and give you your answers when you need them in a timely manner, right?
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah. So there's your device. Nutsu cow, for those that don't know, it is the White Warrior. It is from the movie Kickboxer, for those that don't know. For those that have a little bit of a thought for wax on or wax off, if you watch the movie, you'll see the little Asian lady when Jean-Claude Van Damme is fighting and he's starting to get his ass kicked. And Tom Poe is kicking him and beating him up. And then she says in a little voice, as though you would hear it at a UFC event, "Not so cow. Not so cow." And everyone starts to look over and the guys, "What is she saying?" They're saying he's a White Warrior. And his brother, after getting crippled, who actually used to be a kickboxer, goes into Tom Poe's room and sees him kicking the pylons and comes back and, "You can't fight him. He's fucking crazy. Don't fight him. Not so cow. Not so cow." And then from there, that became the legend. Now, whenever I jump into water, bam, I let me ab go and slap on that water just so I can get that solid salute out to you. Not so cow. If you ever want it, $1 is all it takes, and you get your own Nutsu cow thrown out there.
Yeah.
Nutsu cow. And if I ever end up with an Asian missus, then she'll be calling me Nutsu cow.
Yeah, we're going to expect that. We'll expect her voiceover at the beginning of every stream.
I'll go and mow the lawn. Nutsu cow. You want drink?
You could just have a little sound bite, and she could be saying it every time you went to say it. You could just press a button. That's
right. Fugly. Oh, Lord, here we go. Fugly hates it. What is the cow count? I'm not sure.
But you must be getting close to the record. I think Ketonius was wondering if you got a hot tip for him with something.
What is that hot tip?
Hang on, let me find it again. Sorry, I've lost it now.
What
It was some sort of fight or something coming up. A hot take on the UFC 249 going down this Sunday. Ferguson versus, I don't know that name. I can't say it.
I feel sick about that fight that is about to happen with El Kakui, the boogeyman, Tony Ferguson. For those that are a lot younger, you may not realise I was there from the very first fight that Tony Ferguson had when he went on to The Ultimate Fighter, and he was a kooky, weird dude. And then to watch him as he started fighting, to be known as the man that has the best cardio in the UFC and comes back from operations that you shouldn't come back from, that doesn't get beaten, and when he does, he comes back and swears a revenge that you don't want to go back in for. And he's about to fight Justin Gaethje. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, who is an undefeated phenom himself. Tony Ferguson was meant to fight Khabib. You know, they reckon he was meant to be the kryptonite for the undefeated Khabib. Now, I don't want Justin to fail because he's undefeated, but I also don't want Tony Ferguson to fail because I think that's a fight that's already been called off, I believe, 6 times. It has to go ahead for people to know the final countdown. It's one of the biggest fights in UFC. Doesn't mean it's going to go for long. Both of them are knockout champions. Yeah.
Dave's right. He said Tony Ferguson sounds like the name of someone who sells complicated toasters on shopping channels.
Well, it does. But he is absolutely the epitome of the Ultimate Fighter. He's fantastic. Mystery box. Yeah, Khabib and Tony just ain't happening. I don't think so. I think I've got this feeling that Tony's going to lose this weekend. I don't want him to, but I think he is.
What do you reckon? Are you calling it?
Justin's too hungry. You know, he got this fight as not a last-minute step in, but this is his only probable opportunity. And if he gets beaten in this fight, he's got to go all the way back to the bottom again. Whereas Tony and Khabib will always be what's going to happen. The other big fight that has been now put on is the Beast versus the Mountain, for those that haven't seen it. The Mountain from Game of Thrones has now just signed a 7-figure contract to fight the Beast that beat him in 2017. You know, there is so much happening in this UFC and things that's not this weekend, the Mountain versus the Beast.
Yeah.
But, you know, that fight that happened between the CSI or whatever his name is and the Logan brothers, that has really opened up freelance boxing. Same with McGregor and Mayweather. You know, sort of anything goes now. You know, it's crazy. It's almost like a circus event.
Yeah.
Dave, Kaz, the wife, and I choose watching you over Hamish and Andy. You crack us up.
Oh, that's great.
And they're a lovely family, lovely wife. And I really hope to see you again soon, Dave, when I come up there. Still haven't been able to get hold of Pato. I don't know what the go is there, mate.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I just forked out a fortune for my son's birthday because he does MMA.
Yep.
And it cost me a fortune to get these like shin pads and gloves and stuff for him. Just, you know, it's an expensive sport.
Yeah. And it's expensive in more than just money, you know. It costs them a lot. The potential for injury is there. And I'm not talking necessarily stitches and a cut. You're talking about ligaments, knees, popped shoulders, all that sort of shit.
Yeah. He's had a couple of injuries. He's a pretty tough boy, though.
Yeah. When you grow up amongst brothers in Tasmania, in the land of the devil, you better be.
And he's a redhead, so he's had to be tough.
Hates the sun. I'm a big believer that we should open up the first ever, maybe it happened in Scotland, the first ever red-headed battalion. Could you imagine how angry those guys would be? One, from rejection, but two, because they hate the sun. Then send them to North Queensland, so they're really suffering, and then they own the night. You know, that'd be amazing. You'd see them coming a mile away. Yeah.
I have a real soft spot for redheads.
Yeah, well, that's all right. They just don't tan well.
Yeah.
But there's also, look, there definitely is an arc of redhead and redhead. They're strawberry blonde, really kind of cute. And then there's someone farted through a fan. You know?
Well, I think, my son doesn't even have any freckles. He's a blue-eyed redhead, and with this big mop of, like, he looks like Sideshow Bob.
That's fine. Look, I skip leg day. I can take an insult. I get it.
Yeah.
I felt like I've been teased by bloody, what do you call it, by seagulls before you throw them a chip and they leave it alone like you need it more, you skinny bastard. Yeah.
Well, that's character building. We all have our things that we get teased about.
And that's something I've got to say to you too. And Dave will admit this. If you come in the military, you better have some thick skin. You're going to get teased. That doesn't mean bullied. It means you're going to get teased. Yeah. And then what you do is you regurgitate the same insult you got from person A, then you use it on person B if he's never heard it before, then it looks like it was your idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's banter. It's how we show we care.
Yeah. Zach, hey, Kaz, your videos have inspired me to make up my mind about joining up to the ADF. Well, I've got to tell you, if I was 17 or 18 and I saw this channel, I'd be thinking, well, you can always go and do a apprenticeship. As a matter of fact, it's better to go in there later and do adult apprenticeship so you get paid more from the start. You know, university, what are the chances of actually passing and going to that trade or that university degree mature enough to one, pass it and not get sidetracked by working at the Video Easy Subway equivalent so you can get your way through, and then that becomes your priority, the making the money, the parties, etc. Or go to the military where from day one, you're getting paid well, you're getting clothes, you're getting free medical, you're getting accommodation, you're getting buddies that you may not have yet, adult buddies, and then getting set up. And worst case scenario, 4 years later, you say, okay, you've taught me a lot, fully qualified, and now I can go out as a mature adult, you know, and go into a university degree where I don't need to take my school certificate. And then you go in there and you can fertilize yourself for anything else you want to do. And you're still only 22 to 23 years old. Makes sense to me. Travel, Red Bull helmet, all the rest.
Yeah.
What's keeping you? Emma C. What's the best way to tell a paranoid, weak kid who can't run 100 meters that ADF is really not for him?
I've got an answer for that.
Go.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't. It's not your job. You don't have to. You know, they'll find out, and you don't know. They might even surprise you. You know, you can't make judgments about people really like that. You don't know. He might do it, but apart from that, it's not your job to smash people down.
I think Emma's might be saying that that's her boy.
Don't be. Look, I've had children who've wanted to join the ADF too, and because when you're a mum, you know all their weaknesses and insecurities. You've wiped their bum. You've helped them when they've been bullied and things like that. So you really know a different side of your children than the rest of the world knows too.
Yeah, and you know what? SASR will let people come over there and find out for themselves too.
Yeah, exactly.
They know when 75 people come that 58 are going to fail.
Exactly. It's always better for people to learn themselves. You can tell them till you're blue in the face, but really experience is the greatest educator. It's
true. Kane, this is one of your silliest questions. Who wins, John Cena versus Mike Tyson? That'd be over real quick, mate. And I can tell you what, Cena would not get in the ring with Mike Tyson either. You'd hear, ha, ha, ha. Oh, white boy is going to hospital. Simon, for my 22nd birthday, I was dragged outside, cable tied to a pole, stripped down to my jocks, and covered in axle grease and grass clippings. See, you had friends.
Yeah.
That was tarred and feathered.
there is a line between teasing and actual assault. You know what I mean? And that's kind of borderline.
Dave, Spike, Adam, Gilly, Shane Giles, Jeff Bowker all live within 10 minutes of me. Mate, come for a beer. You know what Dave will do? He just mentioned all the names, and then he'll go last and go, got to go now. Thanks for the half a carton. He's good with money. He's a mathematician, that man. Fugly says, Simon, for my mate's Bucks party, we glad wrapped naked to a light post and paid a strip of $50 to poke a hole and make his nuts flap in the wind. He was there for a while.
Oh, you know, I've rescued many a young man on Flinders Street tied to, poles, and that it's just something,
Do you know who has got one of the funniest things? We'll get going out of it in a second, team. One of the funniest things I'd ever heard, and by all people, it was in the ACT, used by officers. If there's any here, let me know later. And it was called Running Man. And basically what happened is if they found out it was your birthday and it was something that used to happen apparently all the time, they would pretend they didn't know it was your birthday. And this is at RMC, the college, where you can get in trouble for doing the slightest thing wrong. Yeah. And you'd go out that night, and they'd go to, what's it called? I forget what it's called. There's a bar they always go to. But when you were coming home, it might be, can we just pull over and do a piss here? Yeah, okay. Or let's go and do this. And when you got out, they'd go, Running Man! And they'd grab you and strip your clothes off, and you had a choice. Yeah, what did you do? You had a choice of shoes or pants. So you had to either run naked within your shoes or run all the way back with your pants on but no shoes. And that was the Running Man. So... Mooseheads, there we go, Dave. Thanks, mate. What would you do, team? Would you choose the pants or would you choose the shoes? That's a long way to run home on bitumen.
And what sort of terrain? What sort of terrain is it? Bitumen?
Well, the last thing you want to do is get a bit of frostbite. It depends on the time of the year.
Well, that's right. Whereabouts are we? How far have I got to go? What's the street lights like? How dense is the area, with houses?
Good point.
There's so many factors.
Good point. Brady Cars is here. There you go. He's kissing the heart.
It's for the ladies. The ladies all love him.
Bastard. Whitefoot says CSU Wagga did that many years ago. Wagga is so damn cold too, but where RMC is, because it's in like a hole, Canberra is really, really seriously cold too. And the last thing you want to do is end up with a photo of you doing Running Man, ending up on Tinder where girls go, you got nothing to offer.
You can always sort of cover yourself. You still got free hands, as long as you can run with your hands, covering yourself.
And I guess, and who would be offended by that? Even a cop would be going, you're a funny bastard. Jump in,
But ladies, we'd have to hold our bosoms too. Running with bosoms isn't fun at the best of times.
No, but it's good to watch. And not that I've seen too many ladies running from me with it.
Flashing back to Benny Hill.
Yeah, that's it. Well, team, I think we've gone about as far as we can tonight. Sorry, Brady Cars. We'll start. It's important we look after the people that turn up here a little bit later, considering we came on too early. Yeah. I'd be mistaken for a girl, says Lightfoot. That's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, team, it feels like everything is starting to lift. It feels like the figures are coming down everywhere. It feels like the people that are in the most trouble now is probably the red state, China, and they're being told now that the World Health Organization, if you're going to get any more funding, guess who's going to be part of it? Taiwan. And Taiwan, if there's anything you can do to China to piss them off, it's to even mention Taiwan. Yes. They don't see them as being their own independent sovereign land. They see them as part of China. So the fact that they've done the breakaway, as soon as you acknowledge and call them Taiwan and they should be part of it, that is like putting,
beginning, in my opinion.
That's like detergent going up your Jap eye on a slip and slide. That's how bad it burns. Everyone knows how that feels. Mysterious Box, when are your streaming dates, Kaz? Mysterious Box, we're in uncertain times at the moment, mate. With all of this stuff going on, the beer flu. Basically, I don't know when I'm too tired from homeschooling my daughter. I don't know when there's things going down or things that can go wrong with my timeline that prevent me from doing so. But I'm just trying to stay activated to you every 2 to 3 days. You're going to see a video either come up as a production or a video coming up as a stream. It's going to be stream heavy for a little bit longer because I can't go out and make the videos, okay, that makes the drinks that I love best. That's Cotties. Yeah.
I remember that. My dad
picks the fruit.
Picks the fruit.
And he was talking about a hemorrhoid.
Oh my gosh.
You forget 1984.
Tiananmen Square.
Oh, Tiananmen Square massacre. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't forget that. I don't forget it.
They're kind of denying that happened. There was no tank man. It didn't happen.
Yeah, well, we definitely saw that.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah. Nice lights. I'm off for an hour and it turns into a Blue Oyster Bar. That's right, mate. That's right. And team, I hope this doesn't turn you off there, Loren. I mean, hang up on you. But this is, I'll show you how bright the new light is.
Okay.
I got this out of my money, not out of the Patreon money, but I'll leave it up to you to decide what you think about that. So here we go. That's the Elgato light system there. So we're about to get a bit brighter, and it's a cold light, which means there's no heat comes off it.
Mm.
Tell me, what's the answers? E.T. What other movie?
Yeah.
Beam me up, Scotty, so to speak, and then you can go to different colours. Jaundice. Eat more vegetables, Kaz, and then back to and then back to ACT morning weather, and back up to here or off on. So what we always try to do is we're getting better. We're trying to do little things to make everything better for you, whether it be the viewing aspect. At the moment, we still cannot get back onto Streamlabs with our live streaming, which allows us to embed videos and all that sort of stuff, music, etc., while we're streaming, which really sucks. But, I don't know what's going on with YouTube with that. They thought they'd fixed it, but they've made it 10 times harder. Well, guys and gals, I think it's time to roll. It's been an hour and 17 minutes. That'd be torture for – yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Dave, if you want to be the next one that jumps on, I don't know whether that's going to conflict with you. I don't normally like to get people that actually have a uniform in the cupboard now because I don't want you to do anything, say anything, or be in a position that you're in the same sentence with me when I say something that might contradict the code of ethics or ethos or custom traditions, which I'll never say anything bad about. But if I say anything about something controversial with the military, I'd hate to end your career before it starts.
Yeah, I'm a poor substitute for Dave, but...
No, you're fine. We still talk to Dave, just offline. What's the Blue Oyster Bar? Lightfoot.
I'm not telling him.
Do you know who's in more trouble than China at the moment? I believe it's Twiggy Forrester.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he should be.
Dave, 31 years. Well done, mate. 31 years in the service.
Wow.
That's a long time. He wanted to discharge at 4 years, but he couldn't find his pen. But you know what, Dave? Your final twist of the knife is the one thing that you've never called me that I've had to call you was sir. So you'll always have one above me.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate. And thanks for your service, brother. Okay, well, let's get out of here. If you haven't already, tick the thumbs up, the like button. Yeah. Subscribe if you haven't. If you don't then what more can we possibly do to win you over? It's free. Loren, would you like to say the good night, please?
Yeah, I'll say good night. It was really great to see everybody new and, of course, all the old regulars here, and that's always really great. And g'day to Mr. Thumbs Down guy. I see he was here. And all the lurkers, all the people who just watch and have probably maybe even been watching for a very, very long time and have never jumped in to say g'day or reached out to say g'day. We value you, we honour you for being out there. We know you are. And, of course, everyone who does jump into the chat and say g'day. And good night to everyone. Thanks to the moderators. Everyone have a really good sleep, and we'll see you on the next stream.
Hillary Clinton's under your bed. Thank you. See you later.